Hello, this is Tom Cloud with the bi-weekly precious metals market update. There are three things that I want to talk about briefly based on letters and emails asking things to be verified and clarified. So we're going to start with all this new technology that's been going on for the last 5 years with cryptocurrencies and tokens of gold and all these different programs. Ethereum, the one that got put out of business by the government. Here, everybody was hailing it, and now people have all their money gone. They lost it all. It'll take a long time in court to get it back. They're all over the world. There are people with different things, cryptocurrencies and token deals and all of them. And we're seeing them, governments get involved in the taxing and making sure and closing a lot of these things down, and sometimes they get their money back and sometimes they don't. My advice has been and will continue to be at this stage of a revolution that's changing the hard asset industry, according to many. And of course, I haven't seen it because of all the things and the government coming after them for different lack of licenses and things to put in storage, giving out partial tokens and things like that as gold. And why in the world would you want to do that, except you say it's simpler, it's a little paperwork, but we can do that in the warehouse. We still have the lowest storage rate in the world. Why don't you want your own gold where if you want it mailed to you, you can get it and have it there at the lowest storage rates in the world? You own the physical gold or silver that you have stored there. And certainly if there's anybody listening to this that doesn't have our storage program and the warehouse information, we can email it to you. And you can look at it and compare it to any program in the world. And this way, you know, we've been around for 43 years and we can sit here and deliver the gold to you if you want it at no cost to you. We pay all the shipping, whether you want it shipped to you or whether you want us to set an account up in one of the 3 international warehouses that we have to deal with. We'll set it up and we'll send the gold or silver there at no cost to you. Nobody's going to beat that. So why go out and get into new programs that may or may not work in the future, that may or may not get shut down, like we've seen the one that Reggie Middleton runs, shut down. I used to get 2 calls a week, every week, for probably a year and a half about this program. And many people did it and many people didn't. But I'm just telling you, you're buying gold to have something the government can't control, something that because it's so rare compared to the creation of money, it's going to keep going up. Yeah, it's going to have volatility. It's going to jump around. But look at it this year. It's up 17%, and it's dropped recently from 1540 to 1490. It's time to buy. It's time to buy. It's not time to worry why it dropped $40 after getting to 1540. It's still up 17% for the year 2019. So the bottom line is stay away from cryptocurrencies with gold, any reference to gold, tokens, any reference to gold or silver. And once again, I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm just saying maybe down the road that will be a trend that you will get into. But now it doesn't make any sense as far as where we are in the developments of this program. Number 2 item, U.S. gold. Never a week goes by we don't have clients say, why don't we buy U.S. gold? We know the government can't confiscate it. They didn't in 1933 and they won't now. Well, without getting into great detail, I don't agree with that at all. But I do agree that it is now time to look at some U.S. gold. This is gold made from 1838 to 1933. $20 gold pieces, $10 gold pieces, $5 gold pieces. I don't like the 2.5s and the 1s. The premiums are too high. but I do like the 20s, the 10s, and the 5s. So if you'll call me or Dan, we can give you a deal. We're not even allowed to announce it in these shows, but we have a source that has millions of dollars of U.S. gold, both graded and ungraded, meaning XF, extra fine, or that you can buy very good extra fine that you can buy that's not certified by NGC or PCGS, the two leading grading services in the industry. But yes, I do think it's okay. It makes no difference whether you're buying bullion gold. I don't think it'll ever be confiscated. It doesn't even make sense that it would. It wouldn't run the government for 4 or 5 days. If they confiscated all the gold in the U.S., it should be a few days. Somebody told me the other day it was 14 days. Well, whether it's 5 days, 10 days, 14 days, it's insignificant in what we have going on. But we would love to talk to you. You can reach Dan Scoggins Rye at 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812. And the last subject I want to talk about briefly is the incredible disproportionate where gold and silver stand in the world investment market. We now know that there's two things I want to mention. We now know that as of the end of the middle of 2017, 2018, we don't have the figures for the end. There was over $401 trillion of investments in the world, and 228 trillion was in stocks, 100 trillion in bonds, 70 million in stocks, 220 in real estate, and only 3.5 trillion in gold and silver, which made up about 0.75% of the investment market in the world. Watch for this to accelerate and go back to 4 or 5 times where it is now, where it'll be 4 or 5% of the world investment pool in the next 24 to 48 months. We're seeing the central banks buying like crazy, and we'll get to that in a minute when I close. But right now, when you're looking at gold and silver that has historically been 3 to 5%, and now it's only 1% or less of the world investment, you're going to see is more and more money is created, and there's more and more debt created, and we're seeing it fly through the roof. You're going to see gold and silver become a bigger and bigger part of the investment world. And you can get in now where it's almost at an all-time low as a percentage of assets in the investment assets in the world. And once again, there's over $4.25 trillion in the stock, bond, real estate, and gold and silver markets in the world. So get in, because this is real. And to close, I want to talk about the central banks buying gold and silver. We've seen a mass acceleration by China and Russia and others. The key thing that you don't know and I don't know is we see the United States as they have 8,133 tons. It hasn't increased in decades. There hasn't been an audit of Fort Knox since President Eisenhower in the 1950s, since we know what we have. Many people believe we don't have that gold. I'm not going to say either way because I don't know personally if we have it or not. But Germany's second at 3,370 tons, Italy 2,450, France 2,435, Russia 2,133, and China, they have it only 1,800 tons, which that is all that China has said. Everybody knows they have a lot more. Many people believe because of the vast amount they've been buying over the last 3 years, they have more than the U.S. But they're only reporting what they have to report to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, to where they have special drawing rights. So we think China has a lot more, and it's highly possible that the U.S. has a lot less. But once again, I'm not claiming that to be true. But I am claiming that central banks why are they buying gold? What do they know that you don't know? They know there's a financial crisis coming that'll be unlike anyone that has ever been. Anybody that believes in the Bible and believes in the tribulation and believes in the things coming, we know that's going to happen because God says it is. I don't need any more authority than that. So it's an incredible time to still buy gold while it's at incredibly low prices based on where it's going to go. And I do believe it will reach an all-time high sometime next year. So I think it could, I'm not saying it's going to stay there. I'm not saying, but I do believe the next year and a half to 2.5 years, we will see an all-time high over $1,850 an ounce, where right now it's about $1,490. So hopefully we brought a lot of questions to mind today. If there's any in depth you want to talk about, anything we talked about, give Dan or I a call at 800-247-2812. And 2 weeks ago, the message I had, if you haven't looked at it, go back and look at the 401ks. We've had two in the last 2 weeks that have got are funding currently 401ks, self-directed precious metals IRA by either borrowing the money out of the 401k or if they already are retired, setting up two self-directed IRAs and getting out of letting someone manage it. You're not even there anymore. So once again, give us a call at 800-247-2812. Talk about any of these subjects. We'll be back with you in 2 weeks with this bi-weekly update. This is Tom Cloud signing off.